welcome to Arabella's Reading Corner, and today we will be reading Albert's Tree. Spring arrived and Albert woke from his long sleep. Hooray! He shouted. As the snow was quietly turning to water and trickled down from the mountains, Albert raced to his favorite place, his tree. So Albert is a bear. Hello, tree, shouted Albert. I missed you. His tree was perfect. Not too hard, or too soft, or too slippery, or too prickly. It was his own special place, quiet and peaceful. But what was that noise? Albert's tree was crying. Wah! Wailed the tree. What's going on? Said Albert. You don't normally make a noise. You smell the same, you feel the same, and you taste the same, even upside down. What are you doing, Albert? Said Rabbit. So Rabbit came up to Bear and asked him what he was doing. Rabbit, said Albert, my tree is crying. How can I cheer it up? Wah, 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 wailed the tree. When I'm sad, I dig lots of holes to play in, said Rabbit. Maybe that will stop your tree from crying. So Albert and Rabbit dug lots of holes. I didn't know trees cried. We've dug you some holes to play in, tree, said Albert, but the tree just kept crying. Wah, 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 it wailed. Along came Caribou. What are you doing, Albert? He said. My tree is crying. I'm trying to cheer it up, said Albert. Well, when I'm sad, I eat grass, said Caribou. So Albert and Caribou gathered lots of grass. We've brought you some grass, tree, said Albert. Please cheer up. But the tree just kept wailing. Wah, wah, wah! Why is your tree crying, Albert? Said Squirrel. I don't know, said Albert with a sigh. The tree cried harder than ever. Please don't cry, shouted Albert. Wah, wah, wah! Wailed the tree. Too loud. My ears hurt. I'm off. This noise is too much, said the others. Wah, wah, wah! Please stop it, tree, roared Albert. Stop crying! But at that, the tree just wailed even louder. Wah, wah, wah! Then Albert had one last idea. He took a deep breath and climbed quietly up to his favorite branch. He wrapped his thick, furry paws around the trunk and gave the tree a huge, kind bear hug. He whispered in his tiniest voice, Why are you crying, tree? To Albert's surprise, his tree whispered back, Because I'm scared of the big, hairy monster. What big, hairy monster? Whispered Albert. Outside over there, said his tree. Don't worry, I'll get rid of it, said Albert bravely. Albert nervously looked high and low, outside and over there. There was no monster. There's only me here, said Albert. Oh, phew, said the tree. I can come out then. Arr! Screamed a tiny feathered thing. You're the monster! Ah! Screamed Albert. You're the tree! So the tree that was speaking turned out to be a little bird, and Albert was the big hairy monster it was describing. I'm not a monster, said Albert. I'm Albert, and I'm not a tree, said Al. I'm Al. Albert and Al laughed and laughed at their mistake. They both felt much better. Albert was glad his tree was back to normal. He and Al played in it all afternoon. As he watched Al swooping from his favorite branch, Albert knew that Al loved the tree as much as he did, which he secretly decided made his tree twice as perfect as it had been before. I hope you enjoyed this book.